Hello everyone, I'm Victoria, and today I'd like to give you my review of The Magicians by Lev Grossman. Just to give you a little bit of an idea of the synopsis of this, it's about a 17-year-old boy named Quentin who discovers that he in fact does have magical abilities, and because of that he's granted entrance into Brakebills, which is a magical college in upstate New York. We follow him through the 4 years while he is there, and then a few months after he's graduated, when he's kind of having fun in Manhattan, and then we find out that the magical world that Quentin has been obsessed with since he was a child, Fillory, is actually real. So he and his friends get transported there, and then they kind of have a quest that they have to go on. I'm gonna be honest, I really like this one. I know, it's strange. I was not expecting it. Right now, this book sits at a 3.47 cumulative average on Goodreads, which is not really good. It's bad. It's bad. And I've also seen quite a few booktubers and people on Goodreads rate this pretty poor. I knew going into this that it gets better. People have said that the series needs to be taken as a whole, all 3 books. There's a huge amount of character growth and development. So I was ready to go into this and just hate the characters, hate this book, just kind of get through it, plow through it, get to the end so I can get into books 2 and book 3 to see that development. But like I said, I really like this. I gave this a 4 out of 5. So I'm one of those few people that really enjoyed this. The reason that I really enjoyed this was because, number one, you're not supposed to like these characters. The author does a really good job of never forcing you to empathize with these characters or sympathize with them. I like that a lot. They were bad. They're not great people. They're kind of douchey, and yeah, the author allows them. That's another thing that I love. They feel so real. There are people like this in the world. In fact, you probably know people like this in the real world. And so this just felt so real. It almost felt like more of a magical realism story rather than a complete fantasy because of that. So you had these very true characters that don't act in the best way. And what would happen if they had magic? Well, this is what would happen. If those slightly douchey people that you know in real life got magic, this is it. And so I love that. The other thing that I absolutely loved about this was Quentin's struggle with his emotions and feelings of depression. It's pretty obvious that he's really depressed in this. And instead of doing the mature adult thing and trying to seek the proper help for it, he tries to find as many external fixes for this depression as he can. So first, it starts off with, oh, I've got magic. I'm going to be happy now because I have magic. And that, of course, doesn't last for long, and the malaise sets in again. But then Fillory is real, and he goes to Fillory, but again, he's still miserable, because he hasn't solved any of the problems, the internal psychological problems that he has to deal with. And so I really love this book and the exploration of that. So many times we try to fix ourselves externally, just like Quentin. So I appreciate the author doing that, and again, letting these characters to just be not nice. And I don't know, maybe I'm something of a jerk too, because I enjoyed reading about them a lot. It was kind of like a train wreck. I couldn't look away. The other thing is I also liked how the author, in my opinion, really made Quentin redeemable. He knew he was a jerk. He knew he was being terrible sometimes, and he just couldn't help himself. He said things in spite of knowing that they were wrong. And he never purposefully lashed out at anyone. It was always an emotional response. He never, on purpose, tried to hurt anyone specifically. So I really enjoyed this a lot. I like the interesting psychological complexities that Grossman explores in here. It's almost more about that than the magic itself. Quentin learning that outside things like magic and Fillory aren't going to satisfy that yearning that he has inside. That's something that he has to address himself. So 4 out of 5 stars. The ending, unfortunately, I was kind of spoiled on. I did it to myself, so total blame to me. It didn't have as much dramatic impact, emotional impact as it could have, and if I hadn't known what would happen in future, I probably would have been pretty devastated by it. But the twist is interesting in the end. It's really good. I enjoyed it, and I definitely think that this is an acquired taste. I was pleasantly surprised that I liked it so much, and I'm really glad that I did, but I will warn you, if you go into this book, the characters are not likable. There's not really many of them that are okay. They're all pretty much big giant jerks or do stupid things. So you are warned if you do read this. If you don't like reading about characters that are ridiculously flawed, honestly, then you're not going to like this. But to me, they just felt very human. They just felt very real. And so I appreciated that. And again, 4 out of 5 stars. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a fabulous day. Bye!